Hi everyone, it's Linda Esposito here from Be Clear with Bronchiectasis. Today I'd like to talk about airway clearance and specifically about using the Aerobika attached to a nebulizing cup. This one is called the Aero Eclipse. So there's been a lot of discussion about whether or not you should attach these devices. And I want you to know that experts encourage you to attach them. With that said, if you prefer to do it separately, that's fine too. But if you had an opportunity to listen to the recent NTM and Bronchiectasis conference, they were asked questions, of course, about airway clearance. And Cheryl Torres, who is the supervisor of respiratory therapy, and Dr. Daly, who I consider Dr. NTM, he's a big expert on NTM infections and on bronchiectasis, said it's fine to attach them. In fact, at National Jewish, which is one of the top lung hospitals in the United States, they encourage you to attach them because it takes less time. And it's thought that the best airway clearance is the one you're willing to do, and that is often the one that you can do as quickly and as possible and as effectively as possible. So it's not just about keeping down the time. The issue with attaching them, as I understand it, for some, is that they do not like to inhale and exhale through the Aerobika, that they've been told by either the community or perhaps a respiratory therapist not to do that. That instead to inhale with the device out of your mouth and then exhale to have the device do its job. So basically to splint open your airways and flutter or vibrate so that mucus is sheared from the lungs. And they say that you're less likely to get an infection this way. However, that's really not the case. This device is very safe to use, especially, as Dr. Daly said, if you wash it in soap and water every day. And then, as we know, we need to sterilize once a week. So as long as you follow the manufacturer's suggestions, really should not be any problem whatsoever. But with that said, you need to feel comfortable. So you need to do what feels best for you and not to be anxious. I find that my best airway clearance is when I'm relaxed. So if I'm doing something that perhaps doesn't feel right to me, I might not be as successful in clearing my airways as when I feel more confident. So whether you inhale and exhale through the device, take the device off your mouth, or perhaps exhale through the device and inhale through your nose, and then you don't have to take the device off your mouth, is totally up to you. But I want you to feel comfortable about attaching them. Because I've also heard the doctors at National Jewish and respiratory therapists there say that they feel that by attaching them, the hypertonic saline, or if you're using isotonic saline, gets deeper into your lungs. So that's another consideration. And you know what? Sometimes you might want to just mix it up. Maybe every other day you attach them. I'm really big on hedging my bets. In a way, I would say that my inclination is to do them separately. I just prefer to nebulize separately. I feel I take my time, and I think that's important for me. I tend to be a little hyper, and when I take my time with airway clearance, I often am more successful. But also, I know what they say at National Jewish, so I also attach them, and I feel 100% comfortable breathing in and out through the devices. And I have good practices in place where I'm using warm, soapy water, taking them apart, putting them in warm soapy water, I use a little bit of Dawn or dish detergent, and I agitate the water. See, that's going to remove the medication, and it's going to break down any bacteria as well. I am hearing in the community that some people are not using soap. And I think, really, soap has been around for a very, very long time. We're talking Egyptians. So why you wouldn't use soap first to clean the devices, well, I do understand it. You think you're going to be boiling. I guess we're really talking before sterilization. So if you're going to be sterilizing, maybe you think, well, you know what, I'm going to be sterilizing, I'm going to be popping my device pieces into a baby vial sterilizer or perhaps boiling them, so why bother with a soap? Bother with it. I think it's very important. I've always heard microbiologists stress soap. I mean, listen, when someone goes in to do surgery, what do first? They soap up. So use the soap. And it doesn't really take that long because you can just let your devices soak in it, do something else. Sometimes I even have my devices soaking overnight. It's fine. There's no harm that's going to come to them if you leave your devices overnight. One other thing. Early on when I was posting on social media, I don't think it was when I was doing videos, but just written posts, I remember saying to the Monaghan company, the makers of the Umbra and the Aerobika, oh, it would be great if you had some sort of a stand to put the devices on, because I get tired sometimes and I want to put them down and I'm like sandwiching them between pillows and my sofa. And then one sales rep, I think she's a sales rep or manager from the Monaghan company, got back to me and said, Linda, there's this little divot here in the front of the device and that's what it's for. That was an embarrassing moment. And I was also corrected on how I had the exhaust flap. So the exhaust flap, I don't have it on it now because I had them attached, but the exhaust flap goes down when you're using an Airway Clips cup, not up. And I think it goes up on the Perry cup. So there might be a little confusion, especially for people who use both cups. I know some people use the Perry when traveling, and that one I believe suggests or states that you should have the exhaust flap up, but with the Airway Clips, it's down. Okay, all about airway clearance. So let me go do mine now and take care and enjoy the day. I'll be back.